Good night, fellow punters. The clock on the wall says 5 minutes past 10 on Monday night, the 16th of October 2023. Back with a few for tomorrow. Missing an action last night. Hauled off yesterday afternoon for Porter by a man home from Chicago and didn't give me an opportunity even to shave. I said, I need to shave. No, he says, you're all right. 2 minutes. And he was here in 30 seconds. So I straight out the door and we had a few pints and then went to his place. His wife and family had the dinner ready for us in the evening and nice steak, and we had dessert afterwards, and yes, there was that yellow stuff. The beautiful custard. They must be listening in, and 'twas prepared specially for me. And there was plenty with it too. Birthday cake and whatnot. So I was absolutely wiped last night then, tired, and done no video, and slept in this morning, so there was no need. So I put up a couple of Tortured Soul. We'll get a race out of him. He was 11 or 12 to 1. It was 10s and 8s, I think, first this morning. Then he drifted out to 12s. Ran well enough. But the handbrake was off Charles Burton's horse today. That was the one that was banned for 40 days before. And he was fined, what, was it 6,000 or something? So his money for that opened up at 12s last night. So the handbrake was off today. So when Charles takes the handbrake off, they're hard beaten. We got third, a bit of profit, enough to pay for the one that lost. I thought that'd get early speed, but it didn't, even though it was drawn wide. I thought it might be a speed horse that ran well there before, but it didn't do the business today. There was another one that I didn't put up because it was running at 7 today, which was Rock Melody, an old bus horse. I thought if 6 would be the limit of that. I didn't actually see the race because I was mowing lawns all day. There was grass not cut in 6 weeks. So it could be the final cut for a lot of it this year. But I have another day at the back tomorrow. She's very high, the bottom half of it. I'd say there must be 2 foot of grass in places. But we'll get to it tomorrow. Then there's bushes and trees and whatever and shrubs to be tightened up for the winter. That'll take this week and probably half of next week anyway. So hope the weather stays fine. A few newcomers on the bus. Darren Shaw, Darren Devlin was first on last night. Chris Bono, will he be answering to the real Bono? And Anil in Trinidad and Tobago, or Tobago. Tomato, whatever tickles your fancy. You're very welcome. There's a couple I missed. I'll get them during the week. I just hadn't time to go back there tonight. I was trying to get this together. Went walking the dog and went into the neighbours there tonight and we had a good chat. We had a lot of news to discuss. Deaths and relations home and different things. So it's always good to catch up. I get out of the way and we will move on to tomorrow. Seldom I go to a maiden race, as you might know, but I wrote down the last year that this one I must back next time, so we'll back it. That doesn't say it's going to win, but hopefully it'll go close anyway. A maiden in Goran Park. Heavy ground. The horse in question is Randall's Poet's Lass, by Urban Poet, but I don't think Urban Poet has any relation to Urban Sea. If it was, they'd relish the Hock Deep, that ground. That one, the Prix de l'Arc, wasn't that 20 years ago? But the last day, it was behind. It was in a good enough maiden, the last twice, but particularly the last day, behind Water Nymph, who's rated 76, and it beat Tollstone. Now that didn't run well enough today. I thought it'd run better. But you had a 76 and there was a 78 in the race. But it was drawn pretty well. But it got shuffled back early enough and was actually last. That's it in the orange and black colours. at the back of the field.
On to lead by
Just keep an eye on its run. It's one with the noseband at the back.
Rick Dalton on the inside of Simpson's Paradox with Time Tells All. Fashion Flare next with Toll Stone and Seven Seas. They're followed towards the halfway stage by Carrick Finn, Limestone Red, and finally Randall Poets Last. Little has changed in the order. It's Warren Nymph and Jack Cleary upholding a lead of half a length. Rick Dalton had a choppy turning there in the grey jacket, as is Warren Nymph, and alongside Sectarius, being followed through by Time Tells All, who's just shading to third from Simpson's Paradox. Rick Dalton next with Tollstone, tracking them into the straight. Fashion Flare. Back marker of the leading group is Seven Seas, breaking well clear of Carrick Finn, Randall Poets Last, and Limestone Red, as Warren Nymph presses ahead by length from Sectarius in second, who's driven along. Time Tells All is right in behind them, being followed to the elbow by Rick Dalton. Wide of them, Simpson's Paradox and Tollstone. Warren Nymph the leader from Rick Dalton, who's coming to challenge. They're followed by Time Tells All. Sectarius from off the pace and the stripes, coming home very well indeed is Randall Poets Last and Tollstone. Simpson's Paradox next. It's still Warren Nymph in front. Leads a couple of lengths. Randall Poets Last, who's closing, but it's too late as Warren Nymph gets a stay from Randall Poets Last. Tollstone, Rick.
That was a decent run, I thought. Made up a lot of ground. If it hadn't been so far back, it wouldn't be a maiden no more, and it wouldn't be running tomorrow. What was the prices? There is two. Feathertop is close in the market with it. It went off beaten favourite the last time, but I'll get this out of the way. To the 10 furlongs, but there was a horse there fourth, Lion Weight, and that ran since, and it didn't run that great. And the horse that won it was only rated 66. So the horse that won the race that I was on about was 78. So 2-1 shot, 9-4. Vera's Secret is the other one that's tight in the market as well, but I thought there was a reason for that. That was an correlated at 6, and this is up to 9, so I'd prefer to have seen it running that before on heavy ground. So my process of elimination came with that and the good run of the last day. The other one, someone is probably saying that's too short. We want something bigger. We'll give you one to double with it, or we'll go 2 singles and a double like we did last Tuesday in the 5-10 at Leicester. Lowton, by Pivotal, Acclamation Mare. They love it hop deep, the combination of them two. But it won in Leicester last year on soft ground, won its maiden. If you look at it won then in Newcastle, but it ran in July in Ascot, but the ground was good ground and it was a mile, didn't stay. But the last it then back at 7. I will have a look at it. Where are we here? There it is in the red with the white dots in the David Armstrong colours. It had got bothered even before that. Well, we'll put it back a little bit further. There we go. It was going to make its run here and didn't get out.
Pick up in the black and orange. Quest for Fun near side. Red Cap coming strongly. Plenty of chances here. Right between horses. Wild Lions right there as well. But it's the Turpinator who's at the front. Zip is kept going. Aphelios towards the far side. Quest for Fun's beginning to lash home towards the near side as well. Aphelios kept going with the Turpinator. Quest for Fun right over the top. Scottish Summit trying to get there with Zip. Quest for Fun and Aphelios between horses. The Turpinator, they race up towards the line. Aphelios and Quest for Fun. Aphelios by a neck. Aphelios goes on to win. The Quest for Fun tight behind the
finished fourth. He probably wouldn't have. He probably would have finished third on the heels of the first two. But by process of elimination as well, I thought it was the most likely winner of that race tomorrow. There is one there, a sort of a risky one, Legend of Leros or Leros, whichever you want to call it. It won very impressively in a maiden last year in Doncaster. Hasn't ran since May. It was well bet that day on soft ground. Whatever happened, hasn't been out for a while. But it might need the run, so hopefully it does. So, well, we'll see what price is this lad. 15 to 8. Could do 2 wins and a double on them two. Now, where are we going? Oh yes, we just mentioned this horse, and you can see if he's strong in the market tomorrow. A horse there for Saibin Bin Sarur, military march. It hasn't run for 999 days. Why did they keep it in training to be a 6-year-old? So it must have showed potential, and they must want to. It's a gelding, like, so they must think that it's worthy of it. Hasn't ran. It actually was fourth in the Guineas, 2,000 Guineas in 2020. And then it had one run the following year in Maiden. So they must be thinking of keeping it going for Maiden coming up in the spring again, because there's no future entries as of now. If it stays, and Sarur is 3 for 6 in the last 14 days, he's doing all right. He had a nice winner in America the other night to Maj. It got its entry to the Breeders' Cup in a few weeks' time. Be interested to see how that, if that doesn't drift like a barge, it'll probably have a chance tomorrow on that surface. 100 to 33 to 1. There's Enthused. Bus horse won the Leicester, has won 3 out of his last 4. The one that he was well bet was a class 2. Alex Chadwick won on it before. It's not penalised for its last win because it was in a conditional jockeys race. Now it's not a simple race tomorrow. You have several. You have done John Betterman, and you have Park de Moor, who's running for Kim Bailey. When Bailey is going really well this year at the start of the year, and when he does hit for him, he can stay going. 3 wins and 3 places out of 8 runners this campaign. So anyone that won on Enthused before, stick with it tomorrow. But I wouldn't be just 100% of it tomorrow. 7 to 2. You know, there's a few round it. There's another one as well. Bus horses at 340 at Goran Park, or some say Gowran, is Manno. But what Manno will show up? Will it be Manno, or will it be a replacement like it was the last day? We got ped out, but it was the wrong horse, and that one horse has won since. The only thing is, on heavy going, I'd have slight reservations about. Now you'll see that for him there, that just 12th of 12th last, but that was the fact that it was disqualified. It was the other horse that won the race and it was disqualified. So really, this horse hasn't ran since the 3rd of September. When it won before in Killarney twice, it was a yielding ground twice. And O'Sera, the sibling, the half sister, good ground is the best for that. So I'm not sure about. It ran on a maiden soft to heavy last year in April, or this year in April, and it was down the field 10th of 16, beaten 10 lengths. Now the distance will suit all right, but the ground is the problem for me. There is no worries about that Yuzu. That started a bit slowly the last day and ran a bit keen for Jesse Harrington. Heavy ground behind Schneidy Eddy. Schneidy Eddy is, like, if you look back at that race, it has good form behind Aussie Girl in Sligo. That was on yielding to soft. It was actually soft that because it was there. But again, anyone that backed Manno to win before, we won twice on it, 11 to 1, and what price was the other time? And we got the place money on it when it ran in the second time for us. And we really got paid for the last. So really it has won 3 times, even though it was the wrong horse that won for us the last time. So 7 to 2, 4 to 1, 11 to 1. So loyalty bet, I suppose. Wish I would. There's an interesting outsider in the 4:15. The 4:15 at Goran Park. Where are we here? There's a horse there, Watermint. It's by Fast Company. And this horse hasn't ran on heavy ground yet. It's only a 3-year-old filly. Joe Murphy trains it. But the one run it had in Goran Park on soft ground was in May this year, 9.5 furlongs. 14-1 to second to Ranco Express. It had a good run as well when it was in Sligo that day. It was only beaten 5 lengths. You could throw out the last because the ground was yielding, but with that going on heavy ground tomorrow for the first time, might be worth it each way. Bet small money at what odds is it? It's 20-1 and 18, and they're paying 5 places. It's an open enough race. 5-2 favourite starting Monday, but the chance is it's a risk, but with risk you get reward. That's about it, isn't it? Have I done the 540? Oh, that's Anna Manno's race, yeah. 4:15. There's a couple there Enthused, and for people listening, you'll understand. I mightn't put it up in the description, but you know the crack yourselves. You're long enough at it. That's Military March. That's Enthused. That's it. Anyway, it's Monday. So what happens on a Monday? Might sing an old song. This song I'm going to dedicate to the Martin family in Ballyvaughan. I forgot to ask Kathleen the other day, was she a banner girl? Because Sean Martin came from Mount Rath in County Laois. So was she again a banner girl that swept him off his feet and lured him to Ballyvaughan? I forgot to ask. I'm not being nosy, but if you want to tell me and tell the bus, please do. So here we go. I put up the words so anyone that wants to sing along with me will do it for the people of Clare. Last night as I lay dreaming of pleasant days gone by, me mind being bent on rambling, to Ireland I did fly. I stepped on board a vision, and I followed with the wind, till first I came to anchor at the cross at Spansel Hill. It been on the 23rd of June, the day before the fair, when Ireland's sons and daughters and crowds assembled there. The young, the old, the brave and the bold came their duty to fulfil at the parish church near Clooney, a mile from Spansel Hill. I went to see my neighbours, to see what they might say. The old ones were all dead and gone, the young ones turning grey. I met the tailor Quigley, he's as bold as ever still. Asher used to mend my breeches when I lived at Spansel Hill. I took a flying visit to my first and only love. She's as white as any lily and as gentle as a dove. She threw her arms around me, saying, Johnny, I love you still. She is Nell, the farmer's daughter, the pride of Spansel Hill. I dreamt, I held and kissed her, as in the days of old, saying, Johnny, you're only joking, as many's the time before. But the cock, he crew in the morning, he crew both loud and shrill. I woke in California, many miles from Spansel Hill. On the banner, bash the bookies over and out.